So, what do Tears of the Kingdom, Jedi Survivor, and Modern Warfare 2 all have in common? They cost $70. I think it's pretty fair to say that over the past 10 years, the quality of AAA games has been getting, well, pretty iffy. A lot of games come out completely broken and clearly rushed out the door. Others are stuffed full of every possible way to get you to spend more money, and well, some are just not good. In the era of free-to-play experiences and a record $7 for your average game on Steam, there has been one line that no developers dare to cross, one paycheck-saving wall that has held firm for nearly 20 years. But with how things are going, $70 might be the new 60, and I have a lot to say about that. There's a lot of ways that moving every new release to $70 is really stupid, especially in a time where people feel these companies are already being greedy enough. But also, when you deep dive into this topic and see not only how much a game costs to make, but the sheer range of quality from Skyrim broken to Red Dead perfection, it kind of becomes hard to even price games equally. And for some, $70 kind of makes sense.
Why do you have a shotgun?
I just want to talk.
You can't shoot him!
Just hear me out before you kill me, because in today's video, we're gonna look at not only why moving to $70 is a really stupid idea, but also why it's happening in the first place, and really why I think some games deserve to be 70 bucks. But first, we need a history lesson. In the before times, retro game developers were definitely on something with how they were pricing games. With the third dimension only just being explored, studios were on the cutting edge of side-scrollers, RPGs, and whatever the hell this new thing called camera controls were. It was a time where games were new, exciting, and expensive. Jesus Christ! Yeah, games weren't exactly cheap to make back in the day either, but when you count for this magical little thing called inflation, you can definitely start to question what that skunky smell was and why prices were literally all over the place. Donkey Kong Country, $80. Doom, $94. Tetris and Dr. Mario, $90. For this? And don't even get me started on console prices, because oh boy, what? Bruh. It was a madhouse. But after E.T. crashed the gaming market and developers seemingly sobered up a bit, it seemed like prices were finally chilling out around the GameCube era thanks to a little indie studio called Nintendo. Hey, so what if like every game was $50? Oh, that makes sense. And suddenly, there was peace. It didn't matter if it was Mario Party, Double Dash, Diddy Kong, Crash Bandicoot. Everything console was a beautiful, uniform $50, but wait a minute. Why have I been paying $60 all these? Oh, of course it's you. Enter Call of Duty 2. What happened was this. When Activision wanted to move their promising and 100% original series to consoles, they thought, hey, we're on a new frontier. Halo's making some crazy moves and we're pushing the envelope. You've got online multiplayer, weekly patches, and all this other new stuff. What if we did 60? I like money. I like money. I like more money. More money. Way more money. Let's do it. And like that, our regular $60 price was here, and it didn't matter if it was Call of Duty 2, Mario Galaxy, or Spider-Man. Everything new in AAA was increased to $60. Yay, more money. But thankfully, it stayed that way for 20 years. And now you might immediately be wondering how that's even possible when $50 in 2005 is worth 80 bucks now? Jesus. Yeah, everything in the past 20 years has gotten more expensive, but video games have stayed the same price. And when you think about it, games have really only gotten better. I mean, Spider-Man PS2 is great and all, but there's no way that sick pizza minigame could have cost anywhere near as much as what Spider-Man PS4 is packing. Oh my god, I love you. In this era of $60, games have more or less ballooned in size, cost, development time, and quality, unless you're Bethesda, and really, that's all stayed the same for one reason. They just sold more, you idiot. Some games would cover costs by selling more copies than last year. Pre-orders, skins, battle passes, loot boxes. If a game company could sell you something in-game in the past 10 years, well, they probably have. Yeah, development costs are going up, but nothing matters if we just make more money, baby. And wait, we said we'd get that game out this week? The one we haven't finished yet? Huh. We'll just launch it as a beta. That's worked before. In hindsight, we can obviously see the slippery slope this whole process of make more money became. I mean, remember multiverses? What idiot didn't see that for what a... Oh, I'm an idiot. But really, how are all these games the same price anyway? Elden Ring or Red Dead 2 feels like a steal at $60 with the amount of depth, polish, and just time you get out of these games. But you know what else costs $60 on release? Assassin's Creed Unity, Pokemon Violet, Mario Party, Skyrim, like 10 times by the way. And when you realize the wide range of quality you can get for $60, it really makes you think, if all games are sold equally, shouldn't they be created equally too? In the past 10 years, the highs that a new game could reach have undeniably never been higher, but at the same time, we've seen some of the stinkiest poo-poo that could come out of these studios, and what stayed the same? The price. As more and more and more new games launch, borderline broken, unplayable, or just simply not finished, it's created this situation that buying a new AAA game feels more like a gamble than anything else, and as more people have lost that gamble, they've gotten increasingly jaded, but now you're trying to make that gamble more expensive? Well, yeah, it worked in 2005. Let's see how it goes. All right, here's the reality check, guys. Yeah, things have gotten more expensive, and games have stayed the same price, but everything's gotten more expensive, so people aren't gonna spend more money on video games. Here's a fact for you. $70 games are stupid. They're not selling well. Think about how many games have come out since 2005, all for that price of $60, and how many you've skipped out on because, well, I just can't get it right now. All of us have a backlog. Seemingly everyone wants to talk about it, and you can get most of those games for way less than $60 now. And when I think about it, some of the best games I've played didn't even cross the $50 mark, let alone 60. I'm talking Minecraft, Stardew, Sifu, Garfield. What the fuck is Garfield Kart? These are all not only great games, but for what you're getting, the price feels like a steal, and frankly, I don't think I've paid full price for a game in years. With events like the Steam sale or services like G2A, Games Pass, PSN, why should I shell out $70 on a gamble when I can have all of these games you guys have made that I know are good for like 30 bucks? Yeah, I would gladly pay 70, 80, 90, maybe even $100 for another game like Red Dead 2 or Elden Ring, but Jedi Survivor? Yeah, I think I'll wait for the Steam sale. And really, that's the biggest thing against all of this. These companies could get away with raising the price of games way back in 2005 because there simply wasn't that many options and supply was a lot more limited. I mean, imagine a world where you couldn't just download a game and the stock was actually limited by the discs they could sell you. In a world where games are digital, there's virtually an infinite supply. So why are we just ignoring the whole idea of supply and demand? With plenty of fun and, more importantly, free multiplayer shooters on the market, why would I shell out $70 for the newest Call of Duty that plays like a free-to-play game anyway? And don't get me wrong, I'm way more empathetic about this issue than most. The new console wave isn't selling, the Switch is getting old, and that game that's been in development for the past 5 years, well, that game cost a lot to make, so could you maybe just spare an extra $10? No. Look, just because companies are spending more and more money making these big AAA games does not mean we need to pay more. We live in a world where Red Dead 2 cost $500 million to make and still became the best-selling entertainment product ever, all at the price of $60. It beat the Bible because, very simply, good games sell, and just because you spent that same amount of money making this year's Call of Duty, that doesn't mean I owe you more money because your misspendings shouldn't cost consumers more. Look, if you're a studio who in the past 20 years has made good games, has a great track record, you're gonna be doing just fine. But for some of these studios, I can't help but feel you're haggling on a burning bridge. That new price tag you just put on your game, well, that suddenly highlights your entire career. Every bad release, money move, and feature added to make a quick buck is suddenly called into question, and well, there are absolutely some games that are worth that $70 price tag, but this? Yeah, no, this ain't it. And really, I think that's the best take out of this whole situation. Games, like any other piece of art, have subjective value. We can look back on the price of Tetris or Donkey Kong Country and think, wow, somebody paid $80 for that, but at the time, yeah, a lot of people thought that price was worth it. A game you might find perfectly priced, I might think is completely overblown, and that's okay. We all like different things, but for the company making these games, it's always going to be a tedious balance between making money and pushing fans away. But as it stands right now, I think it's clear that asking $70 is, well, a bit too much. Anyway, it's really good to be back, but I would love to know what you guys think. Is $70 too much? Is $60 too much? And should we really maybe start thinking about not pricing AAA games equally?